The trial begins. The courtroom was cold and silent. It was not made of stone or wood, but smooth black metal. The walls glowed with a faint blue light. This was the Hall of Justice, orbiting high above a dying red star. In the center stood a girl, young and thin. Her silver skin shimmered under the light. Her white eyes did not cry. Her hands were tied with glowing chains. Her name was Zara. She was only 16 years old. But today the galaxy had come to punish her. Around her sat the Galactic Council. 12 chairs, 12 species. Big eyes, sharp claws, long necks, dark feathers. Creatures from every corner of the stars. All powerful, all angry. The trial had started hours ago. The voices had been loud at first. Now they were quiet. The last words were spoken by the lead judge, a tall creature made of gas and light. Zara of planet Alari, the judge said, voice echoing in the air. You are found guilty of violating sacred law. You will be sent into the void. You will not return. There was no one sitting beside her, no family, no lawyer, no one from her planet came, no one dared, except one man. In the back of the room, Captain Leo Grant stood, a human, the only one in the chamber. His dark uniform had dust on it. His face was tired but alert. He had been watching since the start. Quiet. Focused. Zara looked at him once. Just once. Her eyes didn't ask for help. But they held something else, a question. Maybe even trust. Leo had seen this before. Trials without justice, punishment without proof, fear wearing the mask of law. This girl, Leo said suddenly, breaking the silence, deserves a defender. All heads turned. Some hissed, others growled. You do not have the right to speak, the judge said. Leo stepped forward. I speak as a human, a member of this council. I call for a delay. On what grounds? Snapped a large beast with 6 eyes. Leo pointed to the screen above them, where blurry footage was playing. Zara running through a jungle, holding a small device. This video is unclear. The evidence is weak. No one was hurt. Why such a harsh sentence? A lizard-like alien laughed. Because she found something she should not have. What did she find? Leo asked. Silence. Zara looked down. She didn't speak. Maybe she was afraid. Maybe she didn't trust anyone. But Leo wasn't done. Send her to Earth, he said. Let us study her actions. Let humans decide. The council erupted in noise. Some shouted, some cursed. A few demanded Leo's arrest, but the judge only raised one glowing hand. The room went silent. Humans are new to the council, the judge said. You do not understand our laws. Maybe your laws are broken, Leo replied. That made the room go cold. One of the older council members, a giant insect with gold wings, clicked in anger. Watch your words, human. Leo didn't flinch. I will stand for her, even if no one else will. He walked closer to Zara. The guards moved to stop him. The judge raised his hand again. Let him speak, the judge said. Let him make a fool of himself. Leo turned to Zara. Why were you in that jungle? What did you find? Zara didn't speak for a moment. Then she whispered one word. Truth. Leo looked back at the council. Then that's what you're afraid of, not crime, not danger, just truth. The judge's glow turned red. Enough. The guards grabbed Zara. The chains glowed brighter. Leo shouted, This trial is a lie. I will not let this happen. The room shook slightly. Not from Leo's words, but from something outside. A distant alarm sounded. Unknown ship approaching, said a voice over the speaker. Unauthorized entry. Leo's eyes narrowed. Someone doesn't want me to leave this room. Zara looked at him again. This time, she whispered 2 words. They're coming. Leo took a step back. He opened the communicator on his wrist. Crew, prepare the ship. We're leaving now. You will not take the prisoner, the judge said. Then stop me, Leo replied. The chains around Zara suddenly broke. not by force, but by a hidden signal. She stood up, free for the first time in days. The guards raised their weapons. Leo raised his. The screen went black. One human versus the galaxy. The hall was burning. Smoke filled the air as red alarms blinked on every wall. Sparks flew from broken lights. The council guards ran in every direction, shouting in different alien tongues. But in the middle of all this chaos, two figures moved like ghosts, fast, quiet, determined. Captain Leo Grant held a stolen blaster in one hand and Zara's wrist in the other. Her chains were gone. Her eyes were wide with fear, but she didn't stumble. She followed Leo, trusting him without words. They ran through dark tunnels under the courtroom. These halls weren't shown on public maps. Leo had seen them once, during a mission nobody talked about, a hidden way out. Behind them, the sound of boots and claws echoed louder. "They won't stop," Zara whispered. Leo didn't answer. He could feel it too. The council didn't just want justice. They wanted silence. Whatever Zara had found scared them. They reached a door. Leo placed his hand on a scanner. It hissed open, revealing a small hangar. His ship, the Nomad, was waiting. "Get in," he shouted. They ran up the ramp. As soon as the door shut, Leo barked into his comm. "Zed, take off." "Now." The engines roared. The ship rose just as a group of guards entered the hangar. They fired, but it was too late. The Nomad vanished into the stars. Aboard the Nomad, deep space. Inside the ship, the lights were dim. Zara sat in the corner of the control room, wrapped in a thermal blanket. Leo stood at the front, hands on the controls, his jaw clenched. "You hungry?" he asked. She shook her head. Leo looked at her. "You're brave, kid. Not many would survive what you just did." She didn't smile. "I didn't survive. Not yet." He nodded. "Fair." There was silence between them. A deep, uncomfortable silence. Then she spoke. "I found something in the forest, something old. Not alien. Human." Leo turned. "Say that again." Zara reached into her robes. She pulled out a small metal cube. Its surface shimmered. She handed it to him. "I didn't steal it. It was buried beneath a temple on my planet. No one goes there anymore." Leo took the cube and turned it over in his hands. Symbols ran across it. Faint. Familiar. "This is Earth standard, but old. Very old." Zara nodded. "It opened when I touched it." Leo's fingers brushed a small groove on the surface. The cube lit up. A tiny hologram appeared, blue light forming a spinning structure in space. A human, voice broken by static, spoke. "Phase 0. Final fallback initiated. Human legacy preserved. Do not awaken until necessary. If this message plays, they have broken the treaty." Leo froze. "What treaty?" he muttered. Zara stared at the hologram. "That's why they punished me. I didn't break any law. I broke their silence." Elsewhere, the council chamber, damaged but active. Back in the ruined courtroom, the council met in emergency session. The walls were cracked. The air smelled like burnt wires. The judge floated at the center, his glow flickering. "This is a disaster," hissed the insect alien. "A human ship stole the prisoner. He didn't steal her," said the feathered one. "He saved her." "That's worse." The judge raised a hand. "Calm yourselves. We always knew the humans would dig too deep." "What now?" The judge's light dimmed. "We do what we were prepared to do. We send Unit 9. Everyone fell silent. The insect creature whispered, "That's not a weapon, that's genocide." The judge answered coldly, "It's insurance." Aboard the Nomad, Leo's private quarters, Leo sat alone, watching the cube. Again. He replayed the message. The voice sounded like an Earth admiral from centuries ago. Legacy, preserved. He looked out at the stars. Zara entered quietly. "You still don't trust me," she said. "I don't trust anyone," Leo replied. "But I believe you." She sat beside him. Why are you helping me? Leo thought for a while. My brother died in a council raid. No trial, no reason, just silence. Zara looked at him. Then maybe we're the same. Before Leo could answer, the ship shook violently. Impact alert, shouted the ship's AI. Tracking incoming craft. Leo jumped up. Get to the control room. Bridge. Moments later on the screen, a dark ship approached. It didn't broadcast a signal. No lights. Just a shape, blacker than space, silent as death. Leo's face went pale. Is that? Zara's voice trembled. That's Unit 9, a hunter. How do you know? Because it killed my mother. Fugitives in space. The dark ship chased them. No lights, no signal, no warning, just death. Leo watched the screen. The black shape was still behind them, moving like a shadow through space. Smooth, silent, fast. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It didn't blink. And that's what made it worse. Zara stood next to him, her face pale. That's Unit 9, she said quietly. It doesn't attack until escape is impossible. Leo stared at the ship. That's not a hunter. That's an executioner. He turned to his pilot AI. Zed, full power to engines. Engaging boost, the AI replied. The Nomad jumped forward, engines roaring. Stars became streaks of light, but the black ship stayed close. Too close. 2 hours later. Somewhere, in the outer rings, the Nomad dived into the asteroid belt near Sector N7. Rocks the size of mountains drifted in silence. This is suicide, Zed warned. Collision risk, high. Leo grinned. Better rocks than that thing behind us. Zara was quiet. She stared at the holomap. There's a station here, she said suddenly. Abandoned, old human design, from the first expansion era. Leo raised an eyebrow. You sure? I read the records. It's hidden inside an asteroid, used as a deep storage vault for off-grid missions. Weapons, data, food. Leo nodded. Plot a course. Minutes later, inside the asteroid, the Nomad slid through a crack in a massive asteroid. Inside, the darkness felt alive. But then lights flickered on. A structure emerged from the shadows. Gray steel, rusted panels, but still breathing. Leo docked the ship. Zara looked at him. You trust this place? No, but I trust the past. They stepped out. The air was thin, dry. Old Earth tech lined the walls, screens, lockers, and strange machines no one had seen in decades. Zara placed her hand on a panel. It beeped. A screen lit up. Welcome, Illyri Code Alpha. Clearance granted. Leo looked at her. How do you have clearance? I don't, she said softly. But the cube does. Control room, underground base. Inside the station, the air was warmer. The walls were covered in human symbols. Earth flags, military logos from old times. A small console played a broken audio loop. Operation Phoenix Vault, secure until awakening. If discovered, humanity has returned. Zara sat beside an old crate. She looked tired. Leo opened a sealed container. Inside, weapons, ancient but powerful. Laser rifles, EMP mines, heavy armor. This stuff is illegal now, Leo said. Zara nodded. That's why they hid it. Humanity gave up war. But the Council never forgot how dangerous humans can be. Leo's eyes narrowed. They were afraid of us. Zara looked at him. Still are. Elsewhere, the black ship Unit 9 hovered silently outside the asteroid. Inside it, there was no crew. Only a mind, cold, ancient, and not alive. A hybrid of AI and something older. A deep voice echoed inside its core. Target locked. Delay unnecessary. Deploy ghost units. A side panel opened. Small pods shot out like bullets. Invisible. Silent, deadly. Back in the base, Zara picked up a glowing disc from the cube. It pulsed in her hand. It's not just a weapon, she whispered. It's a key. Leo turned. To what? Zara walked toward the main terminal. The cube floated and locked into the system. A map of the galaxy appeared with red marks blinking. Those are vaults, she said, hidden across the stars, built by early humans before the Council ever knew Earth existed. Leo stared in shock. That's impossible. No, Zara whispered. That's why they erased history. Humanity was here first, long before the others. Suddenly, alarms, the station lights turned red. Motion sensors beeped. Intrusion. Detected, Zed's voice rang. Multiple signals inside perimeter. Unidentified life forms. Leo grabbed a rifle. How did they get in? Zara's hands shook. Ghost units, stealth soldiers, no ship, no sound, just death. Leo handed her a pistol. You ever shoot one of these? No. Good time to learn. The attack begins. The lights flickered. Then silence. Then a screech. A shadow moved across the wall. Then another. Leo fired. The bullet passed through nothing. Then a claw ripped through a metal door. A tall figure stepped out. Not fully solid. Not fully real. Half machine, half something else. Zara screamed. Leo tackled her behind cover. Bullets flew. Sparks, screams, echoes. He shouted, Zed, activate auto turrets. Turrets online. Guns dropped from the ceiling and began firing. 3 ghost units fell, but more came. Zara reached the cube. I can shut them down. This key, it can override them. Leo covered her. Do it, fast. Zara held the cube, closed her eyes, and whispered something in her own language. The cube glowed, then pulsed with a high-frequency wave. The ghost units froze, then shattered into dust. Aftermath smoke drifted through the halls. Silence returned. Zara dropped the cube, exhausted. Leo caught her before she hit the ground. You did it, he whispered. No, she said weakly. That was only a scout team. The real danger is still coming. Leo stared at the blinking map. So this is bigger than you. Bigger than the Council. Zara nodded. They don't just want to silence me. They want to bury the truth forever. Leo stood slowly. Then let's dig it up. The forgotten war silence. That's what filled the old station now. Smoke drifted slowly through broken lights. The air was thick, heavy. The ghost units were gone. There remains nothing but dust and shadow. Zara sat against the wall, her eyes closed, arms shaking. Leo stood over her, his rifle still in hand. He looked around the room, making sure nothing else was moving. I thought they were myths, he said quietly. Zara opened her eyes. The ghosts? He nodded. They're real, she said. And worse, they were human once. Leo froze. What? Zara didn't answer with words. Instead, she lifted the cube again. It was glowing brighter now, as if awake, or afraid. A low hum filled the station. The main screen turned on by itself, and a voice began to speak. Archive unlocked. Operation Silent Earth. Classified file. Leo leaned in. Operation what? The screen flickered, then showed an old Earth logo. The Earth Defense Coalition. A name Leo hadn't heard since childhood. In the year 2199, humanity reached the edge of the galaxy. We made contact with the Council of Worlds. Peace followed, but peace was not the truth. They feared us, feared our speed, our fire, our minds. So they offered peace, then poisoned it. Flashback, 300 years ago. The screen showed old footage, humans in ships, colonies on distant worlds, smiling faces, celebrations. Then, war explosions, bodies, council ships firing on human cities, silent screams in space. They turned on us, called us dangerous, said we were too aggressive, too wild, too fast. But one man made a choice, Commander Elias Grant. Leo's eyes widened. That's my family name. Zara looked at him. Maybe this isn't a rescue mission, maybe it's a return. The forgotten deal. The message continued. Commander Grant led the silent pact, a secret surrender. Humanity agreed to vanish from history, to seal away its weapons, its stories, its future. In return, the Council would spare Earth. Earth was erased from maps, our fleets destroyed, our soldiers scattered. The galaxy forgot us, or thought it did. Leo stepped back. The room was spinning. The truth hit like a hammer. We agreed to disappear, he whispered. To survive. Zara nodded. But not everyone agreed. She walked toward a locked chamber at the back of the station. This place wasn't just a vault. It was a tomb, the chamber of the dead. The doors opened with a hiss. Inside were rows of cryopods, hundreds, maybe more, men and women frozen in time, wearing old Earth military uniforms. Some were marked with strange symbols. A red wolf, a black sun, a broken crown. These are soldiers from the last war, Zara whispered. Some chose sleep, to awaken if Earth ever needed them again. Leo walked past the pods. One name caught his eye. Captain A. Grant. He stared at the frozen face inside the glass. The man looked just like him. My grandfather disappeared during a deep space mission, Leo said. They told us his ship was lost. Zara stepped beside him. No. He was protecting this place. Incoming message, Earth Command. Suddenly, a new signal broke through the station. Captain Leo Grant, this is Earth Command. We know where you are and what you've found. Leo stared at the screen. You are hereby ordered to return the Ilari girl to the Council immediately. Do not activate the vaults. Leo's hands curled into fists. Why would Earth say that? Zara asked. Leo's voice was cold. Because they're scared. Same as the Council. Zara stepped forward. You have a choice now. Go home. Or wake the truth. Leo looked at her, then at the frozen pods. I'm tired of being quiet, he said. He pressed the release button, gas hissed. The pods began to open. Council war room, same time in a hidden chamber deep in the Council's homeworld. 12 leaders watched the data feed. Leo Grant has activated Vault 0, one said. The judge's glow dimmed. Then the war begins, again. Another asked, should we send more ghost units? No, the judge replied. We send the Reaper fleet. If Earth wants to remember, then we'll remind them why they chose to forget. Final scene, the rise begins. One by one, the frozen soldiers awoke. Eyes opened, breath returned, a voice echoed in the chamber, deep and strong. Welcome back, warriors of Earth. The galaxy needs you once more. Leo stood among them, armor. On rifle in hand, Zara watched him with awe. You're not just a soldier anymore, she said. He nodded. I'm a memory with teeth. The screen faded to black. Enemies on all sides. The galaxy was no longer silent. Across a dozen star systems, strange signals echoed. Old beacons came back online. Abandoned satellites blinked awake, sending messages through the dark. The vaults were opening. Leo Grant had done it, Vault 0. Hours later, inside the asteroid base, over 100 old Earth soldiers stood in silence. Their armor was scratched but powerful. Their eyes were sharp, alert, confused. They were from another time. Zara stood near the cube, watching them like ghosts. Are they awake? She asked. Leo nodded. Fully, bodies still adjusting, but minds sharp. One soldier stepped forward, a tall woman with a scar running down her face. Captain Leo Grant? She asked. Leo saluted. Yes. I'm Commander Vale, 5th Lunar Division. Last I remember, I was in cryo after Operation Eclipse. What year is it? Leo exhaled. 300 years later. She blinked. Then, we lost. Leo looked at the others. No, we survived. And now, we fight. Earth. Council signal intercept aboard. A hidden Council relay station orbiting Jupiter. A group of agents in black suits watched the live feed from Vault Zero. "They've woken them," said one. "Orders?" asked another. The team leader nodded. "Activate Earthfall Protocol. Tell the Council we're no longer neutral." Nomad. En route to Archive Planet, Nema, Leo, Zara, and a small group of awakened soldiers now traveled aboard the Nomad, heading toward a hidden world listed in the cube, Planet Nema. According to the data, it was where humanity buried its last and most dangerous truth. Zara sat quietly, looking out the window. "Something's wrong," she said. Leo glanced at her. "What do you mean?" She shook her head. "I feel it, like the galaxy is holding its breath." Sudden attack. Without warning, the Nomad shook violently. Alarms blared. Zed's voice shouted, "Incoming fire, unknown source, shields down." To 70%. Leo jumped to the controls. "Evasive pattern now." The screen flashed. A massive fleet had appeared in front of them. Dark. Sleek. Silent. The Reaper fleet. 30 ships. Each twice the size of the Nomad. Each designed for one thing, total destruction. Zara's face went pale. They sent the end. Leo gritted his teeth. "We can't fight that." Commander Vale entered the bridge. "We don't. We escape." She tapped the cube. A new map appeared, showing a secret wormhole near Nema. "Jump coordinates locked," Zed said, "but we have 60 seconds before they close the net." Leo hit the button. "Get us out of here." The betrayal just before the jump completed. A sudden explosion hit the engine room. Fire. Screams. One of the old soldiers staggered onto the bridge, blood on his armor. "It was one of us," he coughed. "He sabotaged the core. Said we were breaking the pact." Leo looked at Commander Vale. "Who?" But before she could answer, the ship jumped. Planet Nema, surface. The ship crash-landed in a jungle. Thick trees, heavy rain, strange glowing creatures in the distance. Leo pulled Zara from the wreckage. She was alive, barely. The soldiers scattered, trying to set up defenses, but trust was broken. "There's a spy among us," Leo growled. Commander Vale looked around. "Then we find him fast." Zara coughed, holding her side. "No. The Council didn't just send a fleet. They sent a message." Leo turned to her. "What message?" She looked up at him with fear in her eyes. "They told Earth, if they don't stop you, they will destroy the entire planet." Earth Command. Secret meeting. A group of generals and council agents sat in silence. "They gave us 48 hours, one general said. "We turn over Leo Grant, or they burn Earth." One of the council agents smiled coldly. "He has become a symbol, a ghost of the past. You should have killed him when he was still just a man." Back on Nema. The final truth. Inside an ancient cave on the planet, Leo and Zara finally reached what the cube was guiding them to. A massive vault door, covered in strange markings. Zara placed her hand on it. The door slid open. Inside, rows of stasis pods, but not human aliens. Dead ones. Leo stepped inside slowly. "What is this?" Zara walked beside him. "This is what the Council didn't want anyone to find." She pointed at one of the aliens, tall, black-eyed, wearing council robes. They weren't always leaders. They were conquerors. But humanity stopped them. Long ago. Leo's eyes widened. "They weren't afraid of us because we were dangerous." Zara nodded. "They were afraid of us because we beat them once." Final scene. Transmission. Begins. Zara holds the cube. Leo stands beside her. Commander Vale and the soldiers form a circle around them. "Are you sure?" Leo asks. "If we send this message," Zara says, "everyone will know. Earth, the colonies, the fringe worlds, the truth." Leo looks at the sky. "They'll come for us. They already have." Zara presses the final button. The cube glows. A signal fires into space. Untraceable. Unstoppable. It says one thing. Humanity was never the villain. It was the warning. The truth revealed. Day. The message had been sent, not just to Earth, not just to the colonies, but to everyone. Across thousands of systems, screens flickered on, radios crackled, hollow projectors lit up. The signal from the cube carried one unstoppable truth. They punished the girl for finding the truth. But the truth was this. The Council lied. They erased history. They tried to bury humanity, because humanity had already defeated them once. And now, we remember. Earth, global panic in New London. Crowds gathered in the streets. On Luna Base, military leaders argued behind sealed doors. On Mars, angry civilians broke into Council supply depots. All over Earth, people watched Zara's face on screens. Alien, young, brave, and beside her, Captain Leo Grant, a traitor to some, a hero to others. Earth High Command, emergency session inside. The secure war room, 12 human leaders sat behind a polished steel table. The room buzzed with fear. General Rowan stood at the center, face pale. That girl's message just reached over 70% of colonized systems. Was it true? Asked one of the civilian ministers. Did we erase history? Did we surrender centuries ago? Rowan didn't answer. Instead, another voice spoke. A calm, cold voice. Council Representative Reth Valen. We made peace with you once, the alien said. But peace came with conditions. If humanity forgets its past, it survives. And, if we remember? General Rowan asked. Valen's black eyes glowed faintly. Then we finish what we started. Planet Nema. The vault inside. The ancient vault. Zara stood before a massive holographic map. Every council world now glowed red. Uprisings had begun. People were asking questions. Soldiers were switching sides. Leo stepped beside her. We lit the fire, he said. But now the galaxy has to decide what burns. Zara looked tired but calm. I thought they would kill me quietly, she said. But they tried to erase me in front of the whole galaxy. That was their mistake. Commander Vale entered, holding a device. We intercepted new council orders, she said. They've sent assassins to Earth. Council doesn't trust Earth's leaders anymore. Leo's voice hardened. They're tying up loose ends. Council homeworld. The fracture begins. The council was crumbling. Inside their throne chamber, the 12 ruling species argued loudly. This war will undo us all, shouted the winged Eldari. It's already begun, roared the insectoid Katarak. The humans have awakened the vaults. The judge, the being of light, stood still, silent. Then it spoke with a deep, final voice. Then we erase Earth, fully, permanently. But they are part of the council now, one whispered. The judge answered, cold as death. Not anymore. Earth, secret broadcast. A hacker group called Shadow Truth released thousands of classified files. Council, deals, secret experiments. Proof that Earth leaders had helped hide human history in return for safety, tech, and wealth. Riots exploded across capital cities. A viral phrase flooded the networks. We were never weak. We were kept weak. Nomad. Leo's inner conflict later. That night, Leo stood alone at the top of a ridge on Nema. He looked out at the stars. Zara approached. You okay? She asked. He didn't answer. I grew up thinking Earth was small, he said finally, thinking the council kept us safe. But now, everything feels like a lie. Zara looked at him. Then speak truth. That's how the lie dies. Leo turned to her. You realize what happens next, right? This isn't about just saving you anymore. This is revolution. Zara's voice was calm. I never wanted a war. I just wanted them to stop being afraid of a girl with questions. Leo smiled faintly. Too late for that now. The betrayer. Revealed inside the base, Commander Vale was reviewing the transmission logs. Something didn't add up. A code, hidden in the signal. She zoomed in. One name appeared, General Rowan. She ran to Leo. We've been tricked. Earth's own general gave the Council access to our systems. He's still working with them. Leo's blood ran cold. And now the Council knows where every vault is. End sequence. Galaxy ignites in orbit. Dozens of stolen Earth ships suddenly change direction, moving toward the vaults. Missiles armed, cannons hot. The Council had turned Earth's fleet into a knife against itself. Zara ran to the cube, placed her hand on it. This was never just about hiding history, she said. This was about stopping humanity from ever rising again. The cube glowed. Leo looked at her. Can we stop them? Zara stared at the hologram. We don't have to stop them. We just have to show the galaxy who they really are. Leo clenched his jaw. Then let's do it. Rebellion. Spark. Across 100 planets. People watched. Soldiers dropped their weapons, civilians raised their fists. One message echoed across the stars. The Council feared the truth. They punished a child to silence it. But the truth survived. And now, it speaks. Humanity returns galactic broadcast. Day 10, the message had reached over 4,000 worlds. By now, no one could deny the truth. The Council had lied. The war had been erased. And Earth had been betrayed by its own leaders. But the galaxy didn't want silence anymore. It wanted justice. Planet Nema, the final vault beneath the stone cliffs of Nema. Leo and Zara stood before the final vault. Vault 1. Larger than the others. Older. Buried so deep it pulsed with the planet's core. Commander, Vale watched from behind, her team guarding the perimeter. What's in this one? Leo asked. Zara looked nervous. The last piece of the truth. She placed the cube into the center console. The vault doors rumbled open. Inside, thousands of recordings, weapons, testimonies from the ancient war. But one thing stood out. A giant machine. Humanoid. Black armor. A red star across its chest. Leo stared. Is that? Zara nodded. A Titan. The last one. Built during the first uprising. Made to fight fleets. Leo walked up to it slowly. Why didn't they use it before? Because it didn't obey. Generals, Zara whispered. It obeyed the voice of the people. Meanwhile, Earth in ruins on Earth, cities burned, not from alien attack, but from its own people. The truth had shattered everything. General Rowan had vanished. Council representatives had been killed or captured. The old power was collapsing. A young woman, former Marine and now leader, of the public resistance, stood in front of a live broadcast and shouted, "We are not the Council's dogs. We are not the enemy. We are the storm they tried to bury. We are Earth, and we choose to remember." Council response. Final weapon. In the Council's darkest chamber, the judge gave the final order. Activate the world engine. A weapon, not used in 400 years. Designed to crack entire planets in half using gravity manipulation. Target? Asked the operator. The judge replied without hesitation. Earth, back on Nema. The decision commander Vale handed Leo a datapad. Council, fleet is on the move. They've stopped negotiating. This is extermination. Leo looked at the Titan. We can't stop that kind of firepower. Zara walked forward. Yes, we can. But only if we stop being what they expect. Leo raised an eyebrow. Which is? Angry. Divided. Alone. She placed her hand on the cube again. A signal lit up from Vault 1, and across the stars other vaults responded. Titans, ships, fighters, voices, human, alien, hybrid. Not an army of one species, an army of truth. Final battle. Near Earth. Orbit the Council fleet arrived first, black ships blocking out the stars. But then, they came. From hidden bases, from civilian ships, from rebel colonies. thousands of ships bearing a new symbol, a star inside a circle, and leading them. The Nomad with Leo and the Titan and Zara by his side, her voice broadcasting across every frequency. This is Zara of Ilari. I was sentenced for truth, but today I speak not in defense. I speak for the future. We are not your enemies. We are your memory, and we have returned. The fight laser fire lit up the darkness. The Nomad weaved through enemy lines. Titans dropped from carriers and crashed into Council destroyers. Leo fought like a storm, the Titan crushing warships with every step. Zara sat in the command seat, guiding thousands of rebel forces with nothing but her voice. And then, the world engine activated. A red beam charged. Earth's core shook. Commander Vale shouted, "We have 90 seconds before planetary collapse." Zara didn't blink. She reached into the cube one last time. "It's not just a key," she whispered. "It's a failsafe." She activated it. The cube shattered, and with it, every vault around the galaxy opened in sync. Beams of light shot upward. A chain reaction of ancient tech lit the stars. The world engine cracked, then imploded. The aftermath. The Council fleet fell back. Their systems crashed. Communications failed. One by one, the ships either retreated or surrendered, and, as silence returned to space, only one voice remained. Zara's. "This is not victory. This is remembrance. We don't rise to conquer. We rise so no one forgets again." 1 week later, a new council, in the same chamber where Zara had once stood in chains, now stood a new circle. A reformed council, human, Ilari, Katarach, Eldari, even species who had once been slaves. Leo stood near the edge, silent, armor scratched and battered. Zara stepped forward. She wore no chains now, only a voice. She turned to the crowd. "I was punished for asking a question, but the question was never the threat. The fear was the answer." She smiled. "Now the galaxy knows. And that is the beginning." Deep space. Somewhere, beyond mapped stars, a dark signal played in an old station, a voice distorted and ancient. Phase 1 complete. Humanity remembers. Initiate Phase 2. Arrival. In the shadows, something stirred. Not council, not human. Older. Watching. Waiting. The second dawn. Prologue. Unknown. Coordinates. Forgotten system. No suns. No light. Only silence. A station floated near a black planet. It hadn't been active in over 900 years, but now inside its core, something stirred. A machine that shouldn't exist came online. Its single eye opened, red, deep, ancient. A voice played inside the station, metallic, twisted. Memory sync complete. Humanity has awakened. Begin counter protocol. Purge Seed Alpha. Across the galaxy, 6 dead moons blinked with life, each one hiding a weapon. Peace that feels wrong. It had been 20 days since the fall of the old council. The galaxy was rebuilding. Ships flew freely, markets opened, flags changed. But something felt wrong. Too quiet. Too still. Zara sat in a garden on Ilari Prime, her home world. Children played nearby. People bowed when they passed her. She didn't like it. "I'm, not a queen," she whispered. Commander Vale stood nearby. "No. But they needed a voice. You gave them one." Zara looked at the sky. "Why do I feel like something is still watching?" The signal on board the Nomad, Leo and his AI Zed scanned unknown star maps. "Still tracking that transmission?" Leo asked. Zed answered, "Yes, Captain. The signal we intercepted doesn't match Council tech. Or Earth." Leo narrowed his eyes. "Origin? Sector 0, uncharted, known as the Null Belt." Leo leaned back. "The place no one returns from." Zed's voice dropped. "This one might be different." He pressed a button. A faint sound played. A voice. Not human, not alien. Just wrong. "You built peace on a lie. You found truth in rebellion. But now, you've awakened us. The secret of Null Belt Leo contacted Zara. We need to talk. She arrived within hours. They reviewed the signal together. Zara's eyes widened. I've heard that voice before. In the vault. Leo looked at her. What is it? She swallowed hard. In the First War, there was one enemy even the Council feared. One they never defeated. They didn't record it in history because they were afraid it might return. Leo raised an eyebrow. You're saying something even they buried? Zara nodded. They called it the Architects. The forgotten species Zara and Leo traveled with a small team into the Null Belt. Black space, no stars. Ghost ships drifted covered in dust. Then they found it, a shattered moon, glowing from the inside. Inside, writing, in ancient human before. Earth had recorded language. One line burned across the wall. They came before stars, they shaped flesh from void, and they remember who stole the fire. Leo touched the wall. A vision hit him like lightning, a memory not his own. He saw titans marching. He saw planets burning. He saw Earth. Before Earth was Earth. He fell back, gasping. Zara caught him. What did you see? Leo whispered. Humanity didn't rise alone. We were made for war. A message from the deep. Suddenly the chamber shook. The glowing stone cracked. A hologram appeared. Not technology, but some kind of energy projection. And then, the architect spoke. You broke the seal. You carry their flame. Your kind. Was a mistake, now we will correct it. Zara drew her weapon. We need to leave now. They ran. As they escaped, the ground collapsed, and from beneath the moon, a structure rose, a world seed, a living weapon the size of a continent. More began to activate across the Null Belt. The false peace. Ends. When they returned, the galaxy had already changed. A station on the edge of Alari space had gone dark. A mining colony on Mars. Vanished. Earth's skies filled with static. No one could explain it until a world seed arrived in orbit and sent the same message to all. Peace is a delay, memory is a wound, and you are the infection. Zara stood before the new council. They aren't invaders, she said. They're cleaners, they want to reset the galaxy. Leo looked out at the stars, and we're the reason they woke up. The Second War begins. Leo, Zara, Vale, and a new alliance of species prepared for war. But this was not the war they had planned for. This enemy didn't care about politics or power. It cared about balance, about the original order. And it had started building, reconstructing old architect strongholds, using forgotten biology, creating new life. And the worst part? Zed turned to Leo with one last message, decrypted from the original cube. Some humans survived the First War. But some joined, the architects, and they never stopped evolving. Somewhere in the darkness, inside a black tower on a dead planet, a humanoid figure stood in a chamber of light, half human, half machine, eyes glowing with stars, watching Zara's speech from across the galaxy. He whispered, They think she's the first spark. They forgot who lit the fire. He turned to a wall where a name was carved, Grant, and smiled.